Ralph Lindeman, the Air Force Invitational, always fun to watch, fun to be at, and a very good success for both of your track teams.
Yeah, and Brian, the biggest fun was had by our cadet athletes. And that's what gives our coaches joy, is watching them, the smiles on their faces, the hooting and hollering that took place, all the electricity and excitement that they built in Cadet Fieldhouse. And so it was definitely a home meet. And yeah, we came away with some really great things.
You certainly did. Let's start it, though, with the heptathletes, because Wyatt Murphy did a great job, and Braden Holcomb can't be overlooked.
Yeah, these two are unbelievable. I mean, they're going to be right at the top of our conference. There's an outstanding decathlete who will do the heptathlon from New Mexico in his 6th year. But Wyatt had a great heptathlon. He had PRs and personal bests in 4 of the 7 events, and he equaled his PR in a 5th. He had his best first day ever. He had one really subpar event out of 7, and did a great job. Finished 2nd, and he actually right now we're planning on entering him in the heptathlon at our conference meet. But we're hoping he might be able to come back and do some other events for us as well. At the end of February, and he's really got maybe an outside shot, a dark horse at qualifying for the NCAA championships. And then Braden Holcomb behind him, he PR'd in 3 events as well. And so Wyatt's was the number 2 on our all-time list. Braden's score number 6 on our all-time list. We've got a couple guys there that are going to be really big players for us in the Mountain West Conference, both indoors and then outdoors in the decathlon. So they were fun to watch, and they kind of gave the rest of our team some inspiration. It was kind of fun. On Thursday, our team was doing a warm-up on the east end of the indoor track, and these guys were competing in the shot put right next to them, and our kids are all excited and showing them support. Normally a heptathlete wouldn't, their event lasts for 6 hours one day and 4 hours the next day, and they don't have a whole lot of fans there for it, and our whole team got behind them. I think it inspired them for the rest of the meet, and it just led to some other great performances for us.
Yeah, tell me about some of those other performances that stood out for you.
Yeah, I'll start with on the women's side, Michelle Roca, who we didn't run the week before. She was feeling a little sick, and she had a huge PR in the 400, 56.84, I think it was. And then Taylor Rio, behind her, Taylor ran a great 200. And so we're really excited. This week we go to Texas Tech. I'll circle back to the Air Force Invitational again, but we're really excited with what we can do on a women's 4x400 meter relay. And I really think we can be amongst the top teams in the Mountain West, a very sprint-dominated conference. And between Michelle Roca and Breed O'Connell, who ran in the 56s earlier, and Taylor Rio, our freshman, and then Grace Precious, senior, is coming back from an injury. She'll run for the first time at Texas Tech, and Katie Thompson, our outstanding long jumper. So after our first meet of the year, when Katie broke the 6 meter barrier, 6 meters 17, and the 20-foot barrier at 20-foot 3, this week she went 5 meters 99, almost broke 6 meter barrier in 19.8, and she's establishing herself with some consistency as one of the top long jumpers in the conference. So we're excited about that. Our freshman milers on the women's side were our top 3. We're excited about what they were able to do.
Yeah. And on the men's side, back to the Air Force Invitational, Sam Gilman sets a record in the mile.
Amazing mile. Yeah, Sam Gilman breaks the Fieldhouse record by almost 3 seconds. And what you have to understand is that we've had some amazing distance runners through the years running the mile in here. Olympians like Adam Goucher, Frank Shorter, Brian Berryhill, now the coach at Wyoming, all have run fabulous miles in here. And then Patrick Corona from our own team, broke the record back in 2017. And then Sam comes up and runs 4:06 something at our facility. Now, what you have to understand is the NCAA takes times from altitude and they adjust them using a scientific, formula, and so that they can get seed times for the NCAA championships. And we feel like it's fair for us to use those seed times when we consider, school records. And so Sam's time converted to 3:57 and change. So, last year we had our first 4-minute miler in Cole Lindhorst, and now Sam Gilman just smashes the record by another couple seconds, 3:57. But that's not his best event. And so this week up in Boulder, we're going to Coach Cole's going to take some people in track events up to Boulder, and Sam's going to give it a go at 3,000. So right now he's ranked in the top 10 in the country in the 5,000. He's ranked in the top 10 in the country in the mile, and so we're going to just kind of go split the middle here. He's running 3,000. We think that may be his best event. We're going to find out over the coming weeks when he runs at CU and their home meet, and then runs at Iowa State. So going to the conference, we're going to have him in the best events where he can score the most points for us. But the great thing about that race was that we had guys right behind him running fabulous miles. And so Scott Mason runs the equivalent of 4:04 in the mile. We have a couple guys at 4:07. And it would not be fair to talk about that mile without talking about Garrett Blankish, who's an 800-meter runner for us, a senior. And Garrett made the race because the plan was he was going to rabbit for the other guys, and he did a great job through 1,000 meters of the race, and was able to kind of tow our other guys to some super marks. So I have to mention Garrett, but yeah, Sam is establishing himself as one of the best runners in the NCAA right now, and really on the track through the entire meet, 200s, 400s. Zach Larry is doing an outstanding job. Zach Larry ran 4 races last Friday and Saturday. He's going to run at least a couple more this week at Texas Tech. He'll be running the 60 and the 200, and then coming back possibly on a mile relay. He'll have to run rounds, and so he's been durable, and thankfully the football coaches have been super cooperative about letting him run, as well as a couple of other of our football players, and that's been a help to us. But we had a lot of exciting. Our hurdlers, I'm really excited about right now. We had 4 of the 8 finalists in the meet, and what you have to understand is last year the Colorado State went 1, 2, 3 in the hurdles, in the outdoor conference meet, and we're catching up to them.
Yeah, talk to me about. I know you want to mention Lashawn Taylor too. Had a great weekend.
Yeah, Lashawn Taylor had several jumps over 49 feet, ended up jumping 49.10. He was disappointed in himself that he didn't get 50 feet, but 49.10, it was a new personal best. And the great thing is he beat a guy from Colorado State who had jumped 51.10 last year, and it kind of had Lashawn's number last year, and Lashawn beat him by 4 or 5 feet in this meet. So we're really excited about Lashawn. He's got a great attitude as he approaches his senior season, and that's been good. We're excited about our throwers, our high jumpers, fantastic. But bunch of guys over 6'8" in the same meet, 4 of them. We got 4 of the top 5 high jumpers in the conference right now. Our pole vaulters, we don't have the superstars like a Greg Skoggy or Mitch Leip that we had last year, but we've got 4 guys right at between 16 feet and 16.8, 16.10. So we're pretty solid in the conference there too. We have the top 4 vaulters in the conference.
Yeah, I see your excitement. I know your team is excited. Are you? I just sit here and I go, "Ooh, are they peaking too early? Is that possible?" Or
no, it's not. I'll tell you what. I have so much confidence in our coaching staff. They're going to have our athletes prepared. We perform a little better in a home meet. There's a lot of energy here in Cadet Fieldhouse. They were hearing the yells from over at the basketball from Clune Arena with first the men's basketball team and then the women's basketball team going at it. There's a lot of excitement in this arena on last Saturday. And so, they get a little lifted up, and then when some of their classmates from their squadrons and their classes come down to watch them, that's always makes it kind of fun too. And, our challenge is when we go on the road, so to Texas Tech or Boulder this week, in a couple weeks we'll go to Albuquerque and we'll have a small group of distance runners going to Iowa State. And then obviously the conference meet back in Albuquerque. We need to learn to compete well on the road, and that's what our emphasis is going to be this week. Texas Tech's a huge meet. They've got about 20 schools there, including Texas A&M from the SEC and Texas Tech and TCU and Oklahoma from the Big 12. So in us, Boise State and San Diego State from our conference. So it'll be a good meet. We're going to get look at some great competition on one of the best really facilities in the land at Texas Tech, one that we're kind of designing our future facility around. So, we've got to learn to compete well on the road, though, because that's what it's going to take when we get to the conference meet.
Should be fun. Ralph, good luck this weekend, and thanks as always for the time.
Great. Thanks, Brian.